shoot a tank with a gun, most people think the bullet will explode into 1,000 pieces. But actually, if you shoot someone with a tank, it will make that person pregnant.
My name is Jeff.
Most people believe that turtles can simply detach from their shells at will. In reality, turtles are inseparably fused with their shells, and that's no accident. Deep within these seemingly unremarkable exteriors lies a secret cavo, a hidden room where they meticulously guard their arsenal of ninja weapons. Have you ever wondered why, when you drive at high speed, you have this visual effect? Well, you see, driving at high speed creates the so-called tunnel effect. The scientific reason why this happens is because the driver probably used the Super Mario Boost mushroom. Did you know that chameleons don't change color just to hide? They actually speak a colorful language all their own. When a chameleon changes to this color, it probably means it is ready to rob a convenience store. If you fart in a jar and keep it sealed, will it still smell after 10 years? You see, scientifically, hydrogen sulfide can survive for years in a sealed environment. So, if you sniff it after years, it will bring you straight back to that burrito you shouldn't have eaten. You're brushing your teeth wrong, and that's why. You see, most people think the correct movement is from the bottom to the top, but in reality, the best way is to... Falling from the world's tallest skyscraper can send you to an impact speed of 130 kilometers per hour in just 13 seconds, giving you no chance of survival. What the fuck are you doing? Don't put fucking sugar in your coffee. Instead, put in Husqvarna 440 gas-powered chainsaw, 40cc, 2.4 HP. If you have a giant pimple, don't squeeze it. Pimples are ugly and even painful, but squeezing them would not solve the problem. Instead, wait 9 months. You could give birth to a mega explosive pimple baby. If you get punched in the face, you might think the force might break your jaw, but in reality, turbulences can kill you if you don't do this. Technically, turbulence is just irregular winds pass through the airplane, but if you don't follow safety procedures, a chance that it can kill you is there. When an ostrich sticks its head in your ass, you might think it's a defense method to hide from predators. But in reality, it's probably just making a simple check for its Clash of Clans village. If your nuts are itching, you probably just have a hungry LeBron James who simply must have thought he was on a mega fried chicken wing. So, if you want to solve this simple banana worth millions of dollars, have you ever wondered why? Well, maybe you might think it has something special to make it stay intact all the time, but actually it doesn't. You see, if you try to do the same thing by sticking it on your phone, you have double the chance of being robbed by a fucking monkey. The guy was about to make a joke, but something went wrong.
Bro, you almost scared me.
I got you.
Bro, let's play a new game.
Okay.
You ready? Yes. Yay.
A wise old man says, chocolate is like people. The lighter it is, the better it tastes. If you're using a vacuum cleaner and suddenly you get stuck in it, it's gonna suck you in until you dry out and convulse. That's not a good way to use a vacuum cleaner. If you take out your eyes, what do you think you can see? Well, most people think they see darkness at all, but in reality, you could see...
Bombardiro crocodilo. Un fottuto alligatore volante.
If you are picking your nose, how deep can you go? You might think half your finger is the maximum, but actually you can manage to touch your brain. And not only that, you see, if you go deeper, your arm might come out of your ass for incredible relief. You can even use an RGD-5 grenade to pick your brain as much. When you crack your neck, your joints are forced to move, and this can cause small air bubbles to burst, causing that popping sound we hear. But if you crack it too hard, will cause you to pass out, and you could turn into, yo, what the fuck? I'm just making a video. Oh shit. Have you ever wondered why the slice of bread always falls on the side of the jam? The story goes that Isaac Newton was in his garden when an apple fell on his head. He began to wonder how the apple had fallen downward, but actually what fell on his head was a nuclear... Have you ever wondered why the fuck we use toilet paper to clean our anus? I mean, why the fuck isn't it used like a hairdryer, a candle, maybe a chicken, or even a double-propelled flame? Is there any chance of survival if a person is sucked into an aircraft engine? Firstly, you have to stay absolutely calm. If you fire a bullet that ricochets off 3 walls, some people think it could come back and kill the shooter. But is this actually possible? Well, if the bullet is fired at a correct angle, it might ricochet, but it would go into your ass, and you might get pregnant of a... In 1934, a man was stung by a bee. This caused severe and intense pain, but the bee did not intend to sting the man voluntarily. It just... He slipped on shit, falling on a drill bit, penetrating from his right eye to behind his ear, and was rushed quickly to the hospital. The doctors forgot that the metal should be removed before the MRI. This resulted in an unexpected outcome. The drill bit ended up in his ass, and so the man became pregnant. If you break your arm and you don't go to the doctor, it may grow back deformed. But if you break your arms and legs, you might become the propeller of an MH-6 Little Bird helicopter. Draw a line across a circle, then add a ball that will move across it back and forth. Keep adding lines, cutting the circle into a pie. Next, add a moving ball to each line. Each ball starts at a different angle, following its own path. But when they all move at once, a spinning circle appears inside, even though each ball moves in a straight line. If you add candles, you could summon Mr. If you fire a bullet at an ancient iron helmet, most people might think that it would stop the impact. But these types of helmets were designed to stop weapons, such as swords, preventing the person from being cut by the sharp blade. So if you shoot an iron helmet at a giant bullet, it will surely be able to stop it. In June 2023, a man had the great idea of piloting a submarine with the gamepad. It was about... If you touch a cactus, the spines would probably get stuck in your skin. And if you try to pull them out, they will likely break off because they are so fragile. Instead, you should apply a generous layer of glue over the area. In that way, they will finally... When you fart, your body creates kinetic energy and heat. And when you sneeze, you create just as much energy. But can you do it at the same time? When you do either of these actions, both involve your abdominal muscles. So you can do a snart, but you can also do a screenshot and be paralyzed. Have you ever wondered why we sit on chairs? We rely on 4 sticks to hold the weight of our whole body, but my uncle prefers to sit on a loaded SPAS-12 and... If you forget your house keys and the door won't open, here's what to do. Take your credit card, which should be strong enough, then swipe it between your ass and check if it's clean. If it's not clean enough, you're a... If you step on a bear trap, the jaws will snap shut with over 600 pounds of force, instantly crushing bone and tearing through muscle. But here's what to do to remove it. You'll probably scream, but don't panic. This bullet is illegal in all states of the world because due to its strange, sharp spiral design, it is able to expand, taking the shape of a petal. This happens after impact with a tissue or object, increasing its perforation capacity and lethality. The manufacturer of this bullet stopped making them in 2000 because they discovered that by shooting someone in the ass, it began to spin like a spiral. If you take out all your teeth and replace them with 64-gigabyte USB sticks, would you increase your storage capacity? Technically, yes, but only if you don't live in Florida, because in 1897 it became illegal because a guy who If you want to grow your abs faster, stop doing ab exercises using only your body weight. Instead, add high-performance motor oil to your protein shake and do these exercises: reverse plank, the tapeworm, and the most important, the French baguette. If the cow eats blueberries, could the milk come out purple? You see, milk is composed of 90% water. The rest is made up of lactose, fat, and protein, and this causes its white color. So if a cow eats 39mm bullets, it could become a Kalashnikov automatic rifle. Here's how to win the jump rope in Squid Game step by step. What you need is focus and concentration. Then make sure the doll has not eaten an explosive chili burrito. Take a few steps forward and focus on the rotation of the rope so that you can calculate the turns per second and figure. The man picked up the lighter and thought that igniting farts was fun. This happens because they are mainly made up of flammable gases like methane and hydrogen. But if you have diarrhea... Hello? When Pinocchio lies, his nose grows. So what would happen if he said, "My nose is going to grow"? If it didn't grow, it means he was lying, which would cause his nose to grow. But his nose growing would indicate that he was not lying, which means his nose should never have grown. But if Geppetto asks for a lie, the head is closed without giving you a chance to escape, and a sharp blade is placed above the machine. The executioner holds the rope tightly, and it is connected to the blade. When it is released, the blade falls on the victim's neck. That was supposed to be the idea, but the worst part of the trap is... This man is married with his car. His name is Nathaniel, and he has fallen in love with Mrs. Chase, who is not a human being, but his automobile. His fixation has evolved to such an extent that he is now proud to say that he does scoobity-bum-bum with his car. You might wonder how? Wearing headphones for too long is dangerous. You see, they can cause deformation of the head due to the pressure created to keep them in place, which can turn you into a Discord moderator. But here's how to avoid this problem. When you play, take your cat, then load it with 9mm bullets. After that, the cat might... A man puts a pear tag in a woman's bag. His intentions are suspicious and he is wanted by the police. The woman leaves the gas station and he uses the app to track the victim's movements. She drives away and he decides to follow her without being detected. He carefully follows the woman's movements without losing sight of the car. During the chase, the car stops and parks in front of a house. The man gets out of his car and runs to the back of the house without being seen. But once inside, he couldn't believe his eyes, because the woman was actually his father, having explosive. By snapping your fingers, you can ask for anything you want, but only one wish can come true. Now, you would think that girls would wish for things like a new handbag, an expensive accessory, or a new phone, and yes, that would go like this. But for boys, it's different, because... If you jump out of an airplane without a parachute, here's what to do to save your life. First, stay calm and stabilize your body. Second, go to McDonald's and order a Big Mac large menu. Then take your phone, like this video, and finally turn your body around and fart repeatedly to slow your speed. This way you should land softly. What the hell are you doing? Don't put fucking ketchup on your fries. Instead, put a Honda HRG 466 SK petrol lawnmower. Thanks to its powerful 4-stroke engine with minimal vibration, it guarantees a comfortable and effortless. If you are trapped in a room with walls that are closing, first, breathe and look for a red button. If you can't find one, try using your body to push the walls. If that doesn't work either, cover yourself with baby oil so you can slide like a fucking worm. But be careful. You may not always land where you want to. Hello there. If your dog is broken, here's how to fix it. Deactivate attack mode by holding the tail for 3 seconds. Once open, identify the propeller and tank. Handle the detonator and bullet magazine with care. Polish the chamber with a soft cloth and clean the front air intake with a cotton swab. Finally, close with M6 bolts. Now test in with a tennis ball. Do you know how to spin a basketball correctly? The secret is in the rotation of the ball. So, first place it in the center of your palm, throw it gently into the air, applying a spin, then immediately position your fingers like an Italian. If that doesn't work, try using a LeBron James with explosiveness. If you turn red with shyness when talking to lots of people, here's how to fix it. Calling a stranger might help you imagine that everyone is a pigeon. If that doesn't work, call another one and imagine that everyone is a toilet. If that doesn't work either, then imagine you are a Thompson submachine gun, but stay
Call on connecting. Make a friend.
When you flip a coin, most people believe they have a 50-50 chance of getting heads or tails. But in reality, this is not the case. When you flip a coin, you have a 49% chance of getting either side. You may wonder what the remaining 2% is. Well, that small percentage is nothing more than... If you took out all the bones in your body and replaced them with a Lego skeleton, could you still walk? Removing the bones from your body is technically possible, but you would look like my bulldog's nuts. However, if you managed to replace them with a Lego skeleton, you probably wouldn't even be able to stand up. He bet all his remaining dollars on black, hoping for a stroke of luck. The croupier closed the bets and threw the ball. His heart was racing. He was sweating and visibly nervous, following every movement of the ball with his eyes. After a few seconds, finally, the ball landed on black.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Some people say the egg because it already existed in the time of the dinosaurs, and others say the chicken, born from a mutation in a semi-chicken egg. But if the egg created the chicken, and the chicken created the egg, then who started it all? Actually, it came first. Stephen Hawking with double miniguns and nuclear rockets. Always start from a corner. This doubles your chances of winning. If your opponent also starts from a corner, use the opposite corner from where you started. He will block the center, so use the last available corner. This way, you will have 2 ways to win. But if your opponent starts from the center after your initial move, then use a German sticky grenade. If you use cotton swabs to clean your ears, be careful. Many people use cotton swabs without knowing how dangerous they can be. Not only can they cause infections, but when you use a cotton swab, you push the earwax deeper into the ear, which can cause pain. Instead, use a flak 18 to 3688 mm. The American eel has a secret that no one knows about. You probably know that eels can create a deadly electric shock, but that's not all. Their blood contains a toxic protein if ingested raw. But what not everyone knows is that this fish doesn't even have teeth, even though it's If you put your finger in the barrel of a gun, some people think it would stop the bullet and make the barrel explode. But that's not completely true. Doing this would easily shatter your finger as the bullet continued on. To really stop the bullet, you shouldn't put your finger there. But if you put your foot in the stirrup and hold on to the saddle to prevent slipping. Push your right leg up forcefully to help you climb on. Then swing your left leg over. Keep an upright position. Then press the red button to activate ride mode. Insert and turn the keys to start the engine. Finally, slowly speed up with the throttle. Start by making a small hole in the lips. This makes it easier to insert the first smaller ring. Once the wound has healed, the ring is removed and a larger one is inserted. This is repeated several times until the desired size is reached. In their beautiful culture, this is a sign of beauty and maturity. Generally, those with the largest rings are seen. If you set a giant sticky trap, can you run fast enough to get over it? This type of trap is used to catch mice or cockroaches and is incredibly effective given its stickiness and the weight of the animal. A person of average weight would need to run at around 90 miles per hour, but as soon as you If you fired a giant sniper rifle, could you handle the recoil? A normal sniper rifle is generally between 40 and 60 inches long, with 51mm caliber 30 bullets. So if you fired a giant one, you shouldn't be able to handle it, and it would be enough to get pregnant and probably have a happy family. If you play scissors, you have less chance of winning. Statistically, women play scissors more than other shapes because it is a simple gesture. So instead, always play rock as your first move because you have a 35% greater chance of winning. But if your opponent plays paper, then you do a triple round. If you get a subwoofer big enough, can you use it to fly? A normal subwoofer is about 15 inches. Just enough to crush your windows and destroy your eardrums. But to actually lift you off the ground, you'd need one the size of a stadium, pumping out 200 decibels per second. That's like 100 million times the power of a normal-sized one. And the instant it switches to maximum Imagine you have to defuse a bomb with a blue, red, and green wire. One of these will defuse it, but the other two will make it explode. You choose the blue wire, but when you are about to cut it, a message appears on the bomb's screen saying that the blue wire will detonate it. Now you have to choose between the red and green wires. If you think you have a 50-50 chance, you're wrong. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Maybe double it and give it to the next person.